Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are talking about the wild ride of AI agents. Seriously, it's a story that has everything. A mind-blowing boom, an almost catastrophic bust, and a complete reinvention that is literally happening as we speak.
And this quote right here, it just nails it. You see, the real dream for AI agents isn't to build a slightly better chatbot. No, the goal is so much bigger. It's about creating actual partners, collaborators that can think ahead, handle the grunt work, and basically change the entire game of how we work.
So when we say a high-value AI agent, what are we really talking about? Well, for starters, forget those simple bots that just spit out canned answers. We're talking about a system that gets the full context of a business. It can tap into data, use some seriously complex reasoning to make judgment calls, and, this part is absolutely crucial, it learns from what it does, getting smarter over time. It's intelligence and autonomy all rolled into one.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this all down. We'll kick things off with the reasoning revolution that started this whole gold rush. Then, we'll get into the weeds of the billion-dollar problem that almost sank the entire ship. And finally, we'll look at how the industry is scrambling to rewrite its playbook and what the big tech titans are betting on for the future.
All right, let's dive into that boom. Back in early 2025, something huge happened. A tech leap that totally flipped the script for AI agents, especially for anyone who writes code.
So this was the big breakthrough, these new models that could actually reason. This let developers go way beyond just getting code suggestions. It led to this thing called vibe coding. Basically, you could just give the AI a high-level goal, something like, hey, make this website look good on a phone, and the agent could figure out all the steps and then just do it. It was a massive, massive step.
And check this out. This visual just shows you the impact perfectly. Up top, you've got the timeline of when these powerful new reasoning models were released. And down below, that's the revenue for the startups in this space. The connection is just crystal clear. As soon as these new models dropped, revenues just went absolutely vertical.
And the growth was just insane. I mean, look at Anosphere. Their revenue went up 5x in only 6 months, hitting $500 million.
Replit saw the same thing, a huge jump to over $144 million.
And then there's Lovable. They hit that magic $100 million revenue mark in just 8 months. The gold rush was well and truly on.
But, there's always a but. This incredible growth was hiding a deep, dark secret, a fatal flaw in the business model. And that brings us to Act 2, the hidden cost.
And so, everyone in the industry started asking this terrifying question. Is any of this sustainable? Or was the very thing that created this boom about to cause a massive bust?
And here it is. This is the ticking time bomb. They called it the reasoning token shock. Turns out that complex reasoning that made the agents so powerful also made them really talkative. To think through a problem, they would generate about 20 times more output or tokens. And since these companies pay for AI by the token, their costs started exploding way, way faster than their revenue was coming in.
This right here just lays out the economic carnage. On the left, you see a pretty standard $25,000 contract. Nice and profitable. But on the right, once you turn on that reasoning feature, the compute cost just ballooned to almost 40 grand. That healthy profit margin didn't just disappear, it flipped into a massive, jaw-dropping loss of over $14,000 for every single customer.
You have to remember, these startups had already poured tons of money into building their products. We're talking tens of thousands in R&D, design, testing, the whole shebang. It's like they built this amazing car and sold a ton of them, only to realize the gas was so expensive that every single trip was a financial disaster.
So as you can imagine, this crisis sent the entire industry into a complete panic, forcing them to literally rewrite the rules on how software is sold, just to keep the lights on.
And the pivot was fast and furious. Everyone ditched the old model, the fixed annual price per person, where the software company had to eat all those crazy compute costs. The new model, it's all based on effort or usage. This way, revenue is tied directly to how much the customer uses the service. It shifts the risk back to the customer, and more importantly, it makes the business predictable again for the vendor.
Now, while all the startups were just trying to survive, the tech giants, well, they smelled blood in the water. They saw this chaos as a golden opportunity to start making some big, strategic moves to shape the future of this whole market.
Amazon's play here is really interesting. Instead of trying to build the one agent to rule them all, they're playing the long game. They're acting like an ecosystem builder, investing in tons of different startups all over the place. Their goal is to become the fundamental infrastructure, like the digital plumbing, for this entire agent economy.
That way, they win no matter which startup actually comes out on top. Pretty smart. And this just shows you the two completely different strategies. You've got Amazon on one side, basically building the roads for everybody to drive on, and then you have Microsoft taking a totally different approach. They're all about integration. They're finding specialized agents and pulling them right into their existing empire, Microsoft 365, Teams, to make their own products even more essential to businesses.
So what's the bottom line here? Well, even with that huge economic shock, innovation didn't grind to a halt. Actually, it did the opposite. That pressure forced the industry to get creative and push into some brand new, really fascinating territory.
This big pivot is creating a whole new agent economy. We're seeing these specialized AIs pop up in places way beyond just coding. You've got stuff like generative engine optimization, GEO, which is basically SEO for this new world of AI search. There's agentic commerce, where an AI can actually buy things for you. And we're even seeing agents pop up in heavy industries like military defense and construction. It's really spreading everywhere.
And all of this leaves us with one final huge thought. What we're watching here is AI shifting from just being a tool to becoming an actual autonomous player in the economy. So the question isn't if we're building a new economy run by agents, it's who gets to write the rules.